Hi, this is Mrs. Posey, and today we're going to talk about symbols. What is a symbol? A symbol is a mark, sign, image, or word that indicates something else. Symbols take the form of words, sounds, gestures, ideas, or visual images and are used to convey other ideas and beliefs. For example, anytime we see a red octagon, this is a very common symbol for stop, used all over the world. Anytime we see a red circle with a red slash across it, we know they're telling us something that we can't do. And if we see a heart with an arrow through it, we know it symbolizes love. Here we see very common symbols used for man and woman when we're looking for a place to use the restroom. Peace sign, very common. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. So this is a very common recycling logo. And the peace dove is used internationally to talk about peace for the world. So these are things that communicate an idea other than when we look at this, we know this is a dove, it's holding an olive branch. We're not like, oh, there's a white bird, even though technically it is a white bird. Now, there are different kinds of symbols. Some symbols are only symbolic to you. So you may, in your drawings that we're going to do today, you may use some elements that have meaning to you as a person, individual, or artist. But the people who really know you may recognize this symbol as yours. And it's emblematic of your own experience and ideas. For example, if you went on a vacation to the beach and found a specific kind of shell, by drawing that shell, you are referencing or symbolizing a specific memory or time. Your family who went on that vacation with you might know that's what you're referencing, but to the rest of the world, it's a shell, and maybe it symbolizes the beach. Okay, so another example, your family has a weekly game night, and maybe a playing piece from your favorite game would symbolize that night and that special time that you have with your family. Or in another example, your grandfather gives you a trinket or coin, and it may not have any value or any meaning to anyone else, but it symbolizes him to you. So whenever you see that coin, or if you drew a coin as a reference, it would symbolize him. Or another example, your mom bakes cookies every time you're sick to comfort you. So you might use a wooden spoon or spatula to symbolize her. And when I think about myself, I think about my dad used to work in a wood shop. So I might symbolize him using a saw blade. So these, though, are symbols that are symbolic only to you. So symbols that are elements of contemporary culture are things that something everyone would know that's alive today that stand for something else, like emojis. And when we're saying that, we're saying probably younger people up to maybe 70 follows contemporary culture. Sometimes people who are over 70 do by watching the news, but oftentimes you get to a point where maybe they don't follow it as much. So contemporary culture, like we're talking emojis, the YouTube symbol, often things like logos for sports teams, or like the Nike swoop. Here we have an Apple logo. This is from Fortnite. And I grew up in the 80s, so I have to have my MTV. But these are things that people who are alive today would know and recognize as a symbol standing for something else. Okay? Now, there are historically common symbols or more universal symbols. This is the emblem for woman, and this is the emblem for man. These are symbols that are used over many years, often by multiple cultures, and represent the same or similar ideas. So a heart for love, a dollar sign for wealth, or a clover to represent luck. These are astrological signs that are based on how the stars were aligned in the sky during this time period, and they believe, or people believe, that maybe it influences, different things about our personality and stuff like that. Not everyone believes in that, but these are symbols that have been around again for many, probably more than hundreds, maybe thousands of years. Okay? So we need to think about when we're using symbols. Are all symbols appropriate for use? Why or why not? Does the context we use a symbol in matter? And could a symbol be appropriate one year and then inappropriate the next? Well, think about those things. There are definitely symbols that we see in the world that would not be appropriate for a school setting. So in creating artwork that will be shared with others, we need to be mindful about what might be offensive in a school setting. If you're asking yourself, should I use this symbol? Then the answer is probably not. But think clearly and carefully when you're using a symbol as to whether you believe it's appropriate or not. So for today's assignment, we're going to work on a graphic organizer that starts to put together our ideas and symbols that we're going to use later to reference ourselves. So in this graphic organizer, there is an example in Schoology that looks like this. Okay, so you can reference that as you're doing it. If you want to print it and fill it out, you can. I just hand drew mine here, but this will give you all the categories, so it is in your Schoology folder. But I'm going to work through the sections here, how I want you to start working through them. And you can divide your paper just like I did if you want. I'm going to start here in the middle with my initials, and I'm going into here first, and I'm just going to put them into stick letters, although later I'm going to change that. So J, G, and P are my initials. And then I want you to, if you draw a lot of lettering and have cool font styles, you can go right from here and start to change these. And if you don't, you might want to go online. You can Google search creative fonts, or you can look up letter J and look up images, and there will be thousands of letter J's. But I'm going to do this. So I'm going to leave the stick lettering here, and I'm going to draw right on top of it. So I don't need to worry about getting rid of it for this. This is just a sketch. But I'm going to alter so I don't have a boring stick letter. And I'm going to alter my letters. So here's going to be my J, and I'm going to fill it in. That'll hide the stick lettering part of it. And then for this one, I'm going to thicken parts of my G. And make this a curly Q here too. And for my P, I'm going to do a long stem here. And then thicken this side of it. Just to give something funky, because this is going to be an art piece. We don't want boring stick letters. Now, then I'm going to go into here. And I'm first going to start, and listen, because it's listed here doesn't mean you have to have all of these. I'm expecting you to have probably 3 things in each of these boxes. And you might even find 3 things that fit under one of these words, and that would be fine, as long as there are 3 different things. So my birth date is 10/13/70. Now, numbers are themselves naturally symbols, so I can leave that as 1. My birthplace is I was born in Pennsylvania. So I could do, look up what the state of Pennsylvania looks like, the outline of it, and I don't even know what it looks like. I could put that on there. I could put, so I'm from Pennsylvania, and we watch a lot of football. I could do my Steelers emblem to symbolize that I'm from Pittsburgh. And let's see, the next thing is season. Well, I was born in October, which is fall. I could draw myself, a tree without leaves. And if I need visual references, I'm going to look them up on my computer, typing in whatever it is I'm looking for, tree with no leaves or fall tree images. I could put leaves on the ground. That would tell the time I was born. And then for my zodiac sign, it was on that So the images I showed you first come from a PowerPoint, but if I'm looking on here, I was born in October 13th. So if you look up your zodiac sign, I'm a Libra, and that would look something to me like this. This is what my symbol looks like. Libra is the scales. Okay, now for beliefs, life events, culture, and heritage, that can be kind of whatever you want it to be. So I'm a huge believer in recycling, so I might do the triangle with the arrows, do this, reuse, recycle. I'd have to look up what that really looks like. That would be my triangle with arrows to show that I really am a firm believer in the environment and recycling. I recently got married, so maybe I would show a diamond ring as part of my image here. For heritage, my family is Polish and German, so I might pick something from there. Maybe I would pick a flag, or maybe I would pick something that came from like when I grew up that I remember as part of my heritage. Another life event for me might be when I was growing up, my mom had cancer, and so I follow a lot of groups that do volunteer work for cancer research and stuff like that. So that might be part of, and although my mom passing away when I was young from cancer is like a major life event, and some might say it's not that positive a thing, for me, it certainly has made me be very independent and made me sort of a voice for cancer and cancer research. So it has definitely had some positive impacts on my life. For this corner, skills, talents, hobbies, sports, activities you enjoy doing. Well, I love to paint and draw, so I might do something like a paintbrush here. And I love to read books, so I'm going to put a book. I'm not somebody who likes to read on a Kindle or anything. I like to read a hardbound book. So I might show my book and pages here. Although I'm not a huge personal sports fan as far as playing sports, I love to watch football and I love to watch hockey. So I might put some hockey sticks here. And favorite things. Well, objects, people, music, places, vacation spots. Well, I love to go to the beach, so I'm going to put maybe I'm drawing a beach with some palm trees here. So I'm just drawing quickly some symbols. Sorry, that's my dog drinking in the background. So I got my palm tree. As much as I hate to admit this, I love my cell phone because it keeps me in contact with lots of people. I love to listen to music. I love to sing too, but I'm not a very good singer. So I love to listen to music, so I might do some musical notes. And let me think. I have a house full of dogs, so I love my pets. I think that's probably it. And I think too, I'm going to put up here in major life events, I'm going to put my dad's saw blade. And I probably could put that in here because I actually like to work in his wood shop. He used to live with me for years. But I'm going to put this in here to represent him. But I could represent him here and people and put his saw blade there. But now I have a whole set of sort of symbols. Now, if you said to me, well, like my religion doesn't allow me to talk about symbols in this way, then I would say in these categories, so get rid of like representing your beliefs, you're putting those things that you like. So your birthplace, you could put the best things that you liked about where you grew up. You could put your birth date. Here, it could be life events that you've liked, or pieces of your culture or heritage that you could represent that you like, skills, talents, hobbies. This one shouldn't be an issue. And here, these are just things that you love and appreciate. So you should be able to generate enough symbols in here that if you don't want to share any single one of these, you should be able to generate enough in the other categories. Once you finish this graphic organizer, you're going to photograph it and upload it into Schoology into the assignment.